Is there an interview question that you like to ask that gets you a good idea as to who that candidate is?
I almost eschew the traditional interview questions. I mean, I'm a big believer. If you're interviewing someone and you're talking any more than 10% of the time, you're the one being interviewed. Giving the individual on the other side of the table the opportunity to tell their story and help you understand more about them, their process for breaking down challenges, for how they handle feedback, getting to know them more as an individual and a person is really more important than the canned interview questions they came ready to give me.
You know, it's interesting that you say that. You're one of the very few people who have said, I listen more than I talk. Because I think many times hiring managers go in there pumped up about a candidate they think is a good fit and they want to sell them on the position. And they talk the entire time and they really don't understand who that candidate is. So
Yeah.
I completely agree with you on that.
We actually will take that almost a step further, especially when we're hiring individuals who are going to be in a sales role, is we have a component of the interview where there's a role play, which that is a test on how someone's willingness to learn and try things that are different. Where we basically will leave them in a room with a script, like basically, here's what you're going to do. And more often than not, it's an opportunity. They're supposed to pick up a phone, call an extension, and sell the person on the other end of the phone a trip to Florida. And there are people who will get up and walk out because they won't be willing to do something unorthodox. But something else it does is it means the person on the other end of the phone who grades them on the performance on this Florida call never sees the person.
Wow.
Because if you're on a phone or an online sales application, the customer never sees you either. And it's amazing how that factors into the like the subconscious bias that we all have. Like, there are people who have knocked the ball out of the park on that Florida call that look nothing like the salesperson that you stereotypically are expecting.
You know, it's interesting. I have a recruiter that I'm training right now, and I tell everyone on my team when they first start recruiting is no one knows how long you've been recruiting. They don't know that this is your first call. They don't know that, you haven't been doing this for years, that you don't know the industry. There's times where your computer shuts down and your script is gone, but they don't know that. And there's something so powerful about that. And it's mind blowing that you do that because on so many levels, you're able to, one, see if the candidate truly wants to be there and wants that position. So
Mhm.
you're getting that of like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go for it if I do well or not. There's always room for improvement. And then the second part is the unbiased because we look at people and we have like an idea, but when someone else is grading them, I think that's really awesome. And I think a lot of people are going to be able to use that in their company. So thank you for that.
It's interesting mentioned the dynamic of the insecurity or even imposter syndrome that people who are new or often young in a position have, where it's really easy for them to doubt themselves. Are other people going to believe that I'm fit for this role? Or are they going to believe that I know what I'm doing? And it's the doom cycle in their own brain. The person sitting on the other end of the table, exactly to your point, has no idea how long they've been a recruiter. They have no idea how long they've been doing, whatever the task is. But it's really easy to doubt yourself in that space. I know when I was starting out, as a leader in business, there were more than a few times I had that nagging doubt in my own brain about whether I belonged at that boardroom table or, in that role, and recognized it later that it was my own insecurities and not judgment from anyone else in the room. It was me doubting myself.